Hello, today we are going to be making a sympathy card. It is a 4x6 sympathy card for someone who has lost their pet. I've already cut out all of the pieces and kind of laid it on here to show you what it would look like before we start to piece them together. So I'm going to move all these pieces over so that we can put them together individually. And then we can do the puppy paws at the end. So I'm going to use either Scotch craft stick or Elmer's school glue stick, or you can even get a smaller glue stick, a jock glue stick if you want, whichever one you prefer. I'm going to go with Scotch craft stick. So, as you'll notice, my pattern showed a light yellow, kind of a mid yellow gray, and then a gray option. And as you can see, I'm using a dark yellow, a light yellow, and a gray. And that is because I didn't have, that mid yellow gray color. So I went with a darker yellow on the bottom. And I actually really like the way that this looks. So if you're like me and you don't check the color before you decide to make a pattern or buy a pattern, just use what you have. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, I did the same thing with this. So this color was more pink than in the design than on this paper. And I just didn't have the right color pink that worked with the yellow and gray. So I went with what you see here. So just play with it. I mean, these are design suggestions. And in fact, that is the main reason why the outline of this card is clear, because that way you can make it whatever color you want, depending on what your colors look like. I didn't want to limit it or give you suggestions because honestly, they all look great in different ways. And as you notice, this upper one has some texture to it, which I really like. So there we go. We have the rainbow done. And now we're going to put the hearts together. These are fairly easy to do. The other ones get a little bit more complicated, but we're gonna work it all out. Oops, be careful. Be careful with your glue. So, the way that this looks, you'll just kind of want to lay it out just a little bit before you put it down. I'm not gonna do the little puppy paw little toes yet. Toe beans if it's a kitty paw. This is a sympathy card. It's intended to be for those who have lost an animal, one of their loved ones, and has essentially gone over the rainbow bridge. And so that's really the intent that I had for this, but you can use it in however way you want. And so this is the basic layout of the card. So I just want to make sure that the love is fairly spaced with this. So I'm actually going to put this down first so I know exactly where it's going to be on the rainbow. Probably put a little bit over here. You can use a pop dot if you want to. If you wanted to elevate this up a little bit more, you could do that. I am not doing that. I'm just laying these all flat because the raised portion of the rainbow is where I'm going to place it. So I'm going to put it right there, kind of eyeball where that craft glue is going to be. And then place it. And so now the nice thing about that is I can then place, in fact, what I'll probably do, this is going to be easier, is I'm going to place this first before I get to these details. You know what? Nope, I'm not going to. Changing my mind on the fly. Place this first. So this is going to go right here. Again, I'm going to flip this over, put graph glue on it. And place it where you want, ensuring that you don't have anything underneath. So there you go. The next section is I'm going to do this loved section because I want to be able to place out the L and the D in a way that is pleasing to the eye. And then I can adjust the others as needed. And so I really want them to be balanced in this space. So these will go over just a little bit. And look something like that. And so I'll just flip them over and glue them down as I need to. I'm going to pull this off here. And it's probably off camera, but you all know how to put glue on. So you don't really need to see that. You just really need to see how I'm placing it. If you have tweezers, or if you do happen to do a lot of work planning with stickers, you may have one of the sticker tweezers. That would be super helpful right now. I have one. I don't know where it's at right now. I'm in the middle of a move, so middle. I'm not really in the middle. I have moved and not everything has been unpacked. So there you go. You work with what you got. Oops. Tried to make it not crooked. There you go. Whoops. Okay. And then press down. So now I can do the same thing with the others. In fact, I'm going to do the V first. Place that in the middle. This is where using the smaller glue stick is probably the better idea, but what I'm doing is I'm just pushing this up and then using an edge, and it works just as well. See? Oops. Got a little extra piece there. Don't need that. And then just lightly putting this on here. Again, this, however you want to do this. If you had smaller dots, you could use those. Oops. I'm also going to try and just make sure that my patterns are pleasing to the eye, because this is an O, it could go any which way. There you go. And finally the E. And try not to get it where you can see it on the other side. And then place that. So now that you have that in place, I'm actually going to now, oops, you know what? I forgot my little dark ones. Look at that. Okay, let's put these little guys on. Move this up a little so you can see what I'm doing. Just quick little swipes. And try not to have that extra on there. If you have extra like that, just scrape it off. Nice thing about craft glue, gives you a little bit of time to move it around so you can get that look that you're looking for before you have to place it. So in this case, I can line it up to the cut. And there you go. And now I'm going to move these off to the side. And I'm going to take this off. Put this to the side. We're going to concentrate on these little guys. Now, I have a pick-me-up. I've never used it before, but we're going to try it today. I'm actually kind of excited about it because I tested this on a test one. And I don't technically need it for these, but I am going to use it for these little toe beans because I tried to pick one up with a tweezers and that just didn't really work. So place your paws how you want. You can have them going like this. You can have them going like in the same direction. I think my design has them going in the same direction and kind of over like that. However you feel like doing it. And then this, because they are small, I'm going to use this. I'm going to make my life easier. And just lightly put some glue on there. Nope. And then place. Again, the picking up part is something I'm not quite, this is where tweezers actually might be handy. So just, I might have to switch to the smaller one. Oop. Oh no, the glue and the tack. They're warring with each other. Try that again. There we go. So, there we go. So we're just going to try this. See if it works. Now this is where tweezers could be helpful. So that you can place it and take it off. And it does not look like I have enough glue on that. There, now I got some glue. And then press. This is the test and dexterity. Probably weren't expecting that, but you know what? That's the fun part. Ta-da! You just kind of go through the process. Put them where you feel like you're putting them. Oops. Oh, stuck to the side. And this is the reason why I did not put this down, so that I could move this around like this. I see that this one is a little crooked, so I'm going to see if I can't move it around a little bit. And this one too. You know what? That's not moving. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Last ones. And if you feel like practicing this before you do this, that's totally fine. I am just going with the flow. And look at that. As you do like the first one, you get a little bit better at it. Oop. Oop. This is where nails might not be a good thing. There we go. Move this around a little bit. And the final one. There we go. Here's your little toe beans. And now it's ready to be put on here. I'm going to bend this afterwards. Line it up a little bit. Flip it over. Again, if you want to use pop dots, you can. I am more of a flat card kind of girl. I do have them somewhere, I just don't know where they are, and I didn't want to do them for this particular card. I wanted it to be more, more flat, I guess is the word that I was looking for. So there you go. And there is your card. Fold it here. And is ready to be given to whoever needs it. I hope that the instructional video was easy to follow and that you didn't have any issues with your puppy paws like I did. If you want to find out where to find this, please check out my store on Etsy, or you can check the links in the description of this video.